Hi guys, welcome back to Two Worlds Collide podcast. On today's episode, we have Kyle Wilson, a former Australian Army infantry soldier with 2RR who deployed to both East Timor and Afghanistan. Kyle has lived the highs and lows of military life, from combat deployments to time spent in military prison. His story isn't just about war, it's about resilience, consequence, and the path to redemption. In this episode, we unpack one of the most terrifying nights on his deployment, the night after he took a life in combat. While sleeping in a small room with his team, Kyle unknowingly slipped back into the fight in his sleep, searching for an enemy that wasn't there. His section commander had to take his weapon from him before it was too late. This is a raw, confronting, and brutally honest conversation about combat, trauma, discipline, and finding a way forward after life in uniform. Silence protects, evil wins. Speak up until every voice is heard. All right, mate, you ready to go?
Yep.
All right, Kyle Wilson, mate, welcome to Two Worlds Collide podcast. How you going?
Good, Sam. Good. Yourself?
Yeah, fantastic, mate. Just got back from a run, feeling a little bit run down the last few days. So,
Yeah.
mate, I've got my coffee here and I'm ready to go. But, mate, I'm really, really looking forward to this podcast because for two reasons. One, you're an Australian veteran and I love talking to Australian veterans. And two, a lot of the guys, military guys that I've had on my podcast, not special forces guys, but infantry guys, have been from my unit on my trip. We've told a lot of stories from that trip. Curtis McGrath losing his legs, IED blast, suicide bombers, the 29th of August as well, which you've probably seen from a few of the shorts that I've put up on Instagram. But I haven't dove into any of like 1RR, 2RR, 6RR, those sort of deployments. So having you on is a first for me because it's the first time we get to explore a different deployment that wasn't 3RR. So, mate, I'm really looking forward to this.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
No dramas, man. Thanks for jumping on. Look, I normally just hand over to the guest. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to hand over to you, mate. I want to know, why you sort of joined the military.
Yes.
Did you have any sort of, growing up, were you surrounded by military or is it something different like that?
Yep, sweet. So, a bit nervous, so I do apologise if I'm stuttering and carrying on. I was born in a little town called Lambert Passage. It's about 45 minutes from Newcastle. Just a little, I don't even know, little fishing town, I guess. And then from there, I moved to Nelson Bay on the beach, which is just across the water. My stepdad was in the Air Force, so we moved around a lot. From Nelson Bay, we moved to Darwin, and then from Darwin, we moved to Malaysia and lived on a little island off the mainland of Malaysia called Pulau Penang. And that's where I spent my high school years until I returned to Parramatta to finish my HSC. And from there at 17, I jumped on the bus at Para and went off to Wagga Wagga and joined the Army.
At 17?
Yeah, 17, yeah. Yeah, so, and I guess the reason, we jumped around a fair bit. My stepdad was in the Air Force, and most of the male relatives in my family were in the Army. My pop was SAS in Vietnam. My uncles some are still in. They're all warrant officers and RSMs and all that kind of stuff. Sorry, my pop was an RSM. My uncles are all warrant officers in aviation and in tankies and all that kind of stuff, so Ramey. So, yeah, my brothers joined as well, one of my brothers, sorry. And, yeah, dude, so I think that's why I joined. To be honest, I didn't put too much thought behind it.
Just growing up in that, with your pop being in the SAS, did you ever ask him any stories about anything? Like, did he ever really tell you much?
Nah, dude, they're from a different era, bro. Man, I was unfortunate because he passed away. I got a commendation for gallantry in Afghanistan, and he passed away just before I received the medal. I got to show him the letter of commendation, all that kind of stuff, and just after that, he passed away before we had that parade or whatever you want to call it, where I got the medal ceremony. And yeah, he was just starting to speak to me, dude. Just he crashed his Harley and died, and he was just starting to open up, but. Nah, for before that or to anybody else, if you're a civilian, he won't speak.
Yeah, a lot of people are like that. Mate, a lot of people, like most military people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to talk about anything that they did over there, and unless it's with another military person. I think that's where I've been lucky with this podcast, with being able to get military people on, is because like I've also done the job as well, so it's easier to talk to military people like that. So, mate, can you just take me through your sort of first times at Kapuka as a 17-year-old? I haven't really had too many people on the podcast that have joined at 17, so mate, it would have been a pretty big shock to the system.
Well, bro, do you remember the gap year, the gappies?
Yeah.
Did you have gappies in 3RR?
Yeah, no, I don't think we ever had any make it the way through.
Yeah, no. I was a gap year dude. So a gap year, for those that don't know, is an opportunity to do 12 months of army or whatever you choose to do. As per every other soldier, same shit, Wagga Wagga, Singo for your infantry, onto your battalion for whatever months you got left. So I joined as a gappy just to get an experience of it, I guess, because I didn't know what I wanted to do. Like I said before, I didn't put too much thought into it, and had the opportunity to leave after the 12 months. So rocking up to Kapuka, we were still in with full-timers at Wagga Wagga. Still in with full-timers, got to treat the same as everyone else and all that kind of stuff, and didn't really even notice we were gap years until we got to Singleton, and then we started getting fucking segregated and shit from the full-timers, because obviously they're got to do the 4 years and we only had to do the 12 months. But Kapuka was fun, man. I didn't mind Kapuka. My stepdad was a bit of a hard ass, so Kapuka was sweet. Had a pretty good laugh there, to be honest, and met some really, really good people that I still talk to today.
Yeah, I find that younger people as well, mate. I reckon it was easier to do Kapuka when you were younger.
Oh, yeah.
Because I did Kapuka when I was like 18, and they break it down to like being pieces of shit again, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah. Imagine doing that at 35. Fuck no.
Yeah, mate. Because I came through with the DRS, because I went through DRS but failed selection, so I went to 3.
Yep.
And so I went through with a lot of guys that were mature age, because the average age of the DRS was probably 25 to 28.
Yeah.
So I had a lot of guys that were in like important roles in civilian life, had people working for them to, getting told they're pieces of shit. So they really struggled with that. But us young guys, 18, 19, 20-year-olds, it was easy for us.
Yeah.
So, I actually think there is a bit of a competitive edge if you join the military younger, because it just doesn't matter if someone's degrading you or putting you down. Like, dude, who gives a fuck?
Yeah, saying that, you're 100% right. I even tell people, I'm like, it was easy for me. I came straight from high school. I was used to like being treated like a kid. But we had it ranged from like 17-year-olds. It was me and Daniel Wood. He was 17. He's passed away since then. Sorry, fuck. Yeah, so I bunked up with him. He was 17. And then across the roof from me, we had dudes that were like 35, probably even older, eh? So it ranged from 17-year-olds up to late 30s, and they got treated the same way we did. And I don't know if I could do that, eh? I don't know if I could cop that shit. It's pretty demoralising.
Mate, not now anyway. Not, you know what I mean?
No, not now that we know everything.
Yeah, mate. I struggled to cop shit when I got back from Afghan.
Yeah. I remember getting on the parade ground when we got back, and we were doing fucking grenade drills with rocks. And I was like, nah, I can't. Discharge.
Yeah. That's it. You got some fat sergeant standing over you telling you that if these are real bullets, you'd be shot in the head right now. It's like, mate, shut up.
Yeah. Fuck.
Mate, so let's move on. You went into 2RR, which is up in Townsville.
Yep.
Was there any issues with you being like posted away from your family, being so young at all?
Not really, nah. Because we like, nah, it was sweet, man. I was so wrapped up in just being with the boys and running amok that I fucking forgot about the whole world, to be honest. Like, you know how it is when you first get to battalion and it's just a fucking party for the first 12 months non-stop. Well, it was at 2RR anyway. It was fucking brutal. Yeah. Nah, I didn't have any dramas being away from home. Not to be honest, nah.
So then from there, did you do Timor?
Yeah, TLBG 6.
Yeah, okay. So walk me through that.
Timor was actually hard, dude, because it was pretty much like a jungle exercise for us. Like, all the bad stuff was stopped, and I think we did 1 or 2 patrols along the street. not even at load, and we had blanks. So I don't know what the fuck we were going to do if something did kick off. But
Yeah, right.
yeah, it was ridiculous. But anyways, and then we went to. Oh, you just travel all over the place, and we were doing jungle X. Actually, sorry, I remember we were chilling out, and we had a pretty cruisy start, and then we seen another platoon come back to where we were, and they looked like they'd been in fucking World War II or something. They looked fucked. And we jumped on the transport and headed out to where they were, and they came and did R&R or whatever the fuck you call it, where we were. So then we soon realised that they were doing jungle warfare training out in Timor, fucking with BFAs on and like blank rounds and shit. And fucking locals are walking around with machetes and shit, and we're walking around with blank rounds, just fucking pretending there's enemy in the jungle. It was fucked. I fucking ended up in military prison at the end of that trip. That's how shit it was. Yeah, I got done for 2 charges of assault and fucking sent to Holsworthy.
What can you talk me through that?
Well, like I said, I joined when I was 17, dude, and all the older boys were in their mid-20s or fucking early 30s, like mid-20s, early 20s to mid-30s kind of thing, the senior boys. And when we could, we would, if we were back at a certain base, I can't remember which one it was, we would get the locals to get some like, sorry, I'm hopeless, mate. It's been over 10 years, so my memory's a bit shot, and I don't talk about this shit often, okay? So bear with me. We were on R&R. We had like 3 days to go, and we got the locals to swing us some pizza boxes underneath the fence, and inside those pizza boxes would be like flasks of whiskey or whatever else we could get our hands on. Nice and flat, fit in the pizza box, and you just chuck it under the fence, and we'd go grab it and give them some money. Anyways, we'd go back. I think at this point we had 2 days to go on the R&R. We already slept one night there. Obviously, R&R is rest and relaxation before you go back to Australia because your deployment's finished. So it was almost home. Chuck my sarong on. No undies, I don't think. I can't remember. Got a cowgirl hat on. And we're just sitting in one of the cabins with all the boys just drinking piss and just running amok. And my memory gets very hazy, but I went out to do a piss on a lamp pole or something, and an MP, my secco approached me, and he was blasting me, and I think he had me by the throat or some shit, I don't know. And then the MP came and tried to get him off me, apparently. So... And then they're all fucking berating me and all that kind of shit. So I eventually hit that MP. Yeah, fucking dumbass. Hit that MP. Then other MPs came, fucking ragdolled me around. My sarong came off. I was fucking naked. My cowboy hats, my cowgirl hats fucking come off. These dudes are just fucking giving me gravel rash everywhere, just dragging me along. By this point, like, the whole platoon's out there and all the boys are fucking yelling at these MPs to let go of me. And one of them's got his knee in my back, and the cunt he fucking puts his hand on his 9mm. Fuck! And then the whole platoon erupted, man, and all the boys ripped their fucking shirts off. One cunt goes to kick that cunt that's got his knee in my back. He gets they eventually all get pushed back, and he arrests me to my front, and I stand up, and I fucking punch whoever handcuffs me, and go back down to the ground, do all the fucking gravel rash bullshit again, and they put me in the back of a paddy wagon with 2 of the boys also had to come with me because one of them tried to kick old mate that threatened to draw his weapon. And the other guy got arrested as well with me, and there was 4 of us. Us 4 got put in holding cells. Those 3 dudes got released, and I got sent to fucking Holsworthy.
How long did you spend at Holsworthy?
Whatever the maximum stint is at one time, which was it's not even that much. I think it was a month, but it's a head fuck.
Yeah, what's military prison like?
It's degrading, dude, and that's pretty much like it's just to make you feel like a pathetic piece of shit. They call you SUS, soldier under suspension. So, and there's fucking yellow and red lines everywhere. I think they're yellow and red. Don't quote me on it. And to do anything, you have to ask permission. And I think I still, it's SUS Wilson, Cell Block East, Cell East 13, request permission to pass this fucking yellow line. Or SUS Wilson, Cell Block East 13, request permission to fucking wash my hands. Or you got to say it all over again for any action that you do. You want to flush it, you got to go to the toilet, you got to ask them in that sequence to every line you get to. On the red lines, you got to mark time. SUS Wilson, Cell Block East 13, request permission to fucking whatever. And they can be like, denied. And you're like, fuck, SUS Wilson, Cell Block East, fucking blah, blah, blah. Denied. Fuck, you just got to keep going until you almost piss your pants. And then they'll let you go to the toilets. And when I was there, it was all in Navy talk. And I had no fucking idea what was going on. Like, to stand in attention, or there was, I don't know, I can't remember what it was, but some of the drills that we had to do, I had no idea. And because I had no idea, I was just getting fucking slaughtered.
Yeah, they would have just kept coming after you.
Yeah, they loved it. Fuckers. They loved it.
Well, that's, shit, that's one of the most entertaining starts I've had to a podcast.
Yeah. No, yeah. Actually, I had one of the MPs, it was a chick. She came into my cell one day and she said to me, she shook my hand and she said, thanks for smacking that dude. He was an absolute fuckwit in IETs. And I was like, yeah, fuck yeah, sweet.
Yeah, nice. So he actually, mate, he got to the point where he almost pulled a pistol?
Oh, he didn't. He put his hand, he was on me back, and there's shitloads of witnesses, so I don't mind saying this. I'm not going to get fucking called out on it. He was on my back and he just fucking went for the just put his hand on his holster. And that was just enough for the boys, like fucking Big P, fucking Big Percy. He didn't care if I say his name. He ripped his shirt off and he was like, you want to fucking pull your weapon on fucking Australian soldier and all this shit. And either him or another dude come through with a flying fucking kick or something and just missed the cunt's head. And then what else? Yeah, it was chaos, man. Every MP on the fucking in the vicinity had to come and react to it because the whole platoon was kicking off. It was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, mate. What a Timor experience.
Oh yeah. It was a shit fucking deployment. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, spewing for the boys after me because they weren't allowed to drink at all because you were allowed to have 2 beers at the R&R.
Yeah.
And then the platoon that came into the R&R after us weren't allowed to have those 2 beers.
Yeah.
Poor bastards.
Yeah, we drank a little bit. Oh, well, not a little bit. We drank a bit over in Afghan. I used to get my wife to send me the plastic 600ml bottles of vodka.
Yeah.
And mate, we were like, not many people know this, but yeah, my room, most of the time would have been every 3rd or 4th night. We would definitely get on the piss a bit.
Fuck, nah. I got blind a few times, but I didn't like being hungover over there.
Yeah,
especially, it was fucking sketchy.
Yeah, 16 hours patrol in fucking 40-degree heat.
Yeah, fuck.
Yeah, man. One night I got super blind. One night I went because it was the anniversary of my cousin's death on the 21st of June when we were over there. He was former 2 Commando guy, died in that chopper crash in 2010, and some of his mates knew that I was at the TK base that day, so they invited me into their compound, and I got super blind with them one night.
Yeah, that happened to us when Matty Lambert died. The SF boys brought us in just fucking shitloads of piss because we're in TK for the ceremony to send him off. They brought us heaps of piss, man. We had fucking Fiji, Tavita he's passed away now as well, actually, rest in peace, but he was on the bagpipes in the fucking rooms, man, and we just erupted, Yeah, we got shit-faced. But then the next day sucked, going out on patrol. Even getting back to our FOB sucked. I was fucking not feeling too well and I was shitting my pants.
Yeah, I couldn't think of a worse place to be hungover in the world.
Yeah, fuck.
It's like, fuck, bro. I think about that time now that I'm older. It's like I wouldn't drink there now.
Nah, fuck.
You know what I mean? Like, just the stuff that I know now. And I look back on my younger self and I think, man, you were some fucking crazy little dude then.
Yeah, just young and dumb.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, So after Timor, you then obviously deployed. How long was your Timor break to your Afghan trip?
I can't remember. It was long enough that we went to Papua New Guinea for a little. We'll just help and build stuff in the army base over there. So 2008, 2009, and then we left in 2011 to go to Afghan, whatever that is. Yeah.
Yeah. So because I think you went the summer before us.
Yeah, I think so. MTF3, we got there when it was hot and we left in the snow.
Yeah. Then we were MTF5.
Yeah.
And that was 2012 trip.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, how about let's rewind to the pre-deployment training. So just explain to me, what you did there, because people love hearing that sort of story as well, like how you got ready to go to Afghan, both like physically and then like as a soldier as well, and then mentally as well. So just take me through that.
Yeah, so it was actually, I must admit, it was pretty good training. Like they hired actors and all that kind of stuff to play the civilians and Taliban and all that kind of stuff, and the combat first aid training was awesome. It was the only thing that really sticks out to me is one of my mates got run over by a bushmaster and absolutely crippled while we were doing one of the training exercises before we left, and that kind of mentally prepared me for, I guess, just the stress of it. We were just in all-round defense, and he was laying on his guts in the long grass and just got run over. And I guess, we all thought he was dead, obviously. He's a fucking bushmaster. But we just heard a loud moaning and shit. Then he stopped. So we just figured he was dead. And then I think the CSM was with him, giving him whistles and all that stuff because he was still alive, and got into the Black Hawk helicopter, took him away. And at first they didn't think it was that bad because of all the swelling. It just compressed his bones together that much that they couldn't tell how many breaks there were. But it eventually turned out to be something ridiculous. I think even in the hundreds. I don't want to quote how many, but he had broken bones riddled throughout his body. He couldn't come on the Afghan trip, and it really fucked with him. And he's no longer with us now. But just shit like that kind of got me ready. Well, I thought it got me ready for the mental side of it, but it only just got more hairier from there on in. But it was good training, fucking hard training. But I was in a really, really good section, and we put a lot of energy into just fucking bonding, man. And yes, it was out on the piss, getting fucking absolutely blind, but it was also training hard. Like, it was the hardest I've trained ever in my life, and it was the hardest I've partied ever in my life too, probably. And we just created a really good bond, and today, even to this day, we still speak to each other every day. But,
yeah, mate, I'm the same, especially with the guys that you went to Afghan with. I messaged a guy this morning, I needed something really, really quickly. He's in intelligence, and I'm like, hey, what's this? And wrote me back straight away. These guys, and I haven't seen him for over a decade, but I still stay in touch with them. And it's those bonds forged in real hard situations, and also heartache as well. Going through this terrible time together, where you can only rely on the people around you and no one else. It forges this bond of unbreakable brotherhood that you struggle to replicate anywhere. I've played footy after the military, and I've won a grand final and stuff like that, and that's the closest I can sort of say to people outside of the military, but it still doesn't get
I can't explain it to people. I think my wife gets it to a certain extent, but I can't fucking explain it. It's once you've been in a firefight and you're relying on each other, it's just a different kind of bond. But yeah, I can't put it into words, so I'm not even going to try. But what you said pretty much knocks it on the head. Yeah.
And it's good, right? You can have these relationships for the rest of your life as well. I'm sure you're the same as me. Excuse me. There's guys that you can call up tomorrow and I'm hey, I'm in trouble, and they're all right, where do I need to be?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, fucking oath.
Which is one of the beauties as well of like combat. Like that's the fallout from it. Like that's the brotherhood you get from it. Yeah, you go through a shit time and you potentially might lose some guys, or guys might lose legs, or they come back with like massive trauma as well. But like you also get this like special bond between each other that just can't be replicated. And like I think that's one of the the good truths about war.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong.
So mate, let's jump on to your trip then. You obviously had a few situations happen, which you spoke about before as well, with the award you received and some of the mates that you lost over there. So, mate, maybe I reckon the easiest way we'll attack this is like just a timeline of events with everything. So, like when you first got there through to the whole trip, and I'll just jot some notes down and I'll just ask you questions throughout it.
Yeah, sweet. My timeline's fucked. My memory's shot. So I'll try my best, and I did have notes, but I've lost them. So we went to Abu Dhabi to do a bit of extra pre-training, and that was fucking hot there. Did you guys go there?
Yeah, mate. I remember getting in there. We had an overnight flight. We rolled in there at 6 a.m. and it was 38 degrees.
Dude. I remember thinking, fuck, I quit smoking there, actually. I fucking quit smoking there. And I was like, if it's this one in Afghan, I don't think I'm coming back. And it wouldn't even have to be the Taliban that kills me. It's fucked. But anyways, we did that training there, which I thought was awesome. That was really good, especially the combat first aid, or the whatever you call it. All that shit.
Yeah, that was good.
They had the little cinema room with the theatrics of like the dummies are screaming and there's like live blood coming out, fake blood and that stuff. That. So that was cool. And then we went to Tarin Kot and got a bunch of fucking boring briefs that I didn't listen to. And from there, got all our kit, probably zeroed our weapons, I can't remember. And then we jumped on a Chinook. And that Chinook took us to our FOB in Baluchi Chora Valley, which was Mirawais. From there, we met up with some 5RR boys, and they took us on our nursery patrols. We were all like fresh as, nervous as, and we'd hear a shot ring out. And would all be in fucking all-round defense and all that kind of stuff, facing out. And the 5RR boys would still be walking around punching durries and be like, get the fuck up, you idiots. And we were like, yep, sweet. When I say we, it was probably only me that fucking jumped on the ground. But, yeah, the 5RR boys you could tell they were already seasoned to it. But they did tell us that we weren't going to see any action. They said, put your fucking weapons away, boys. We've been here for 8 months and we haven't seen shit. So that fucking sucked because that hurt me, and that hurt everyone. It really lowered our morale. They fucking shouldn't have said that shit, because obviously, a boxer doesn't train not to fight. He fucking wants to fight eventually, and we just put in a shitload of effort to fight. And hearing that we weren't going to be able to utilize our skills, we went to Timor. That was a fucking waste of time. We didn't get to use our skills there. So we're pretty keen to use our skills in Afghanistan from all the training and all the fucking shit we've been through to try to get here. And to hear that sucked. But that wasn't the case. So we carried on. But that was still in the back of our minds until the first contact. So, as I said before, my timeline's a bit all over the shop. I don't remember if the contacts were before or after Matty Lambert passed, and the three boys on the green on fucking blue or whatever you call it. But our first contact was not too far away from our base. We got our Seco called us into the quick reaction RV, so you get all the boys that are listening are really going to give me shit for all my for my fucking army lingo, because I haven't spoken it in 10 years. So if I say wrong shit, just fucking let it go. They're going to feed me. So yeah, my section commander got the call on his radio to head down to the CHQ to get briefed on what we were about to do. This was in the evening, afternoon, sorry. So we've all moved down to the QRF point. That's what it's called, the QRF point, and kitted up. There was our section, full one Charlie, and there was also a brick from another section next door to us in the tent next door. And they were awesome dudes. So we were stoked to have them with us. And we also had the SIG and the platoon commander. Yeah, I won't say anything about the platoon commander. There's already been shitloads of said from other people. But yeah, so we headed out on patrol after standing around for a good couple hours. We went out on patrol. Day turned into night. We had some A&A, Afghan Army guys attached to us as well. And day turns to night. So we've been briefed that we've got to try and get to this checkpoint across the valley, police checkpoint, because the Taliban are about to hit it. So we start walking through. It's all in the green zone. 99% of our deployment was in the green zone of Baluchi Chora Valley.
Yep.
So we're cruising through the green zone with our Ninox on, and it's pretty dense vegetation and it's very dark, and obviously all the dense vegetation blocks the moonlight, stuff like that. So we're cruising. We can see enough, but the A&A guys, they don't have any night vision on at all, and as you know, they're fucking hanging onto your shoulder, just shitting themselves because they're petrified of the dark and they're shit scared of the Taliban. So we're walking around for a fucking couple of hours. We get something else comes over the radio that disregard that fucking objective. We're going to move on and do this. And we started just walking around in circles for fucking ever. It felt like I was just a digger, so I don't know too much about what was going on the radio. You know how it is. You just follow the secco around. It's at night time, so you can't be talking and carrying on. So you just follow. And after a couple of hours, we started to be like, fuck, because the platoon commander was with us, and we're like, is this a fucking training exercise, cunt? Like, we fucking walking around all fucking night, like fucking walking through rivers with this dickhead on me fucking shoulder, jumping over fucking koala walls, tripping over, ass over tit. Fucking, I think I fell over that many fucking times because you have no depth perception with the Ninox, and you're jumping mud walls and going through aqueducts and all that shit. And yeah, so anyways, we're like, fuck, right, I can't. I think my section commander, he's the fucking best leader I've ever fucking encountered in civilian world and fucking military world. MC, he goes by MC, he's a fucking switched on cunt. So he kind of took charge, and I think we got intel that there was a IED going to be set on the main supply route. This could be a little bit off because I don't know. This is just all fucking post-briefing kind of stuff. But so we started walking towards a main supply route that we thought the Taliban were going to plant an IED under the road for the Americans to come and get hit when they were trying to react to the if anything happened out near the police HQ. Sorry, mate.
That's right.
And I think that intel either came in before or after the contact. I don't fucking know, because when we ran into the Taliban, it was by chance. So what happened was we were all in single file, cruising through in the shadows of the trees. At it's probably close to midnight by now. And my mate Paddy, he's leading the patrol, and he takes a knee. And you see him put the thumbs down, and he starts communicating through SPR that we've got some bad cunts with fucking guns kind of walking towards us, but parallel to us as well, if that makes sense, as if they're going to walk past us. So my secco's got us all down, and because we're in single file, we're now kind of in an extended line. Facing the Taliban that are about to cruise past us. So we're on our guts in the shadows of the trees from the moonlight, but everything else is pretty lit up. So in front of us is the moonlight it's pretty bright, and through your ninox you can see the kind of shine off the moonlight coming off their man dress and fucking whatever else they're wearing. And you can see that. You can also see they're kind of in staggered file, and they're scanning their arcs. They've got the 2 scouts out front, staggered, and they've got a dude in the middle, and he's carrying a big YPOC, a big fucking, what do you call it? Like a jerry container, a yellow jerry container, 20-litre YPOC.
Like something for like a IED.
Yeah, full of explosives and that. And then there's a couple dudes behind him in staggered file. Their spacing was sweet. So straight away I was like, fuck, I was a bit shocked. Because, I think everyone was a bit shocked, to be honest. But, again, training just fucking kicked in straight away. We all got on our guts. The Taliban lead man... sorry, I've got to slow down through this because I get all distracted. My Secco tells everyone, righto, Wilso's initiating contact. So he was behind me and he was just going to give me a signal when to let off the shot, and I was going to hit them once they got right in front of us, because they were probably like 30 to 40 meters away. Like it was pretty close, man. And just behind them was hell dense vegetation.
That's real close.
Yeah, it was fucking close. And MC's given me the all clear to take the first shot. And I remember thinking, fuck me. I had the big ECM on my back. You know, the big ECM bag?
Yeah.
And I fucking was on my guts, and I'm trying to get my head up so I can get a decent sight. And I'm nervous. I'm like, I wasn't nervous about fucking killing him. I was nervous about missing. I was like, if I fucking miss this gun, it's going to be awkward as. And then, but anyways, all this shit's going in a million miles an hour. So the first bloke, he goes to jump over a koala wall just in front of me. He's already passed me. He goes to jump a koala wall, and I've got my fucking eyes set on this cunt here. And as he's gone to jump the koala wall, one of the ANA have fucking spoken in their Dari intellect. You know how the Taliban speak Pashtun and the ANA speak Dari. So instantly, these Pashtun-speaking Taliban fucking like turn and faced, and that's when I pulled the trigger on old mate, and he just dropped lifeless. Like, fuck. It was. I still can picture him just dropping, because I was so shocked. Like, I was so surprised at how lifeless someone can be before they hit the fucking ground. But with that thought came a fucking barrage of just fucking fire from the boys, because as soon as I initiated, when I say I initiate, as soon as that trigger presses, all these boys' triggers fucking kick off, and fucking Dirty Dave's on the HE, dong, dong, because they've all legged it into this dense vegetation. And they've started firing back. So I've dropped a dude. I think that dude on the left, he would have got dropped. And off to the right, I don't even know, man. All I know is that we dropped 2 dudes, and the others jumped into the vegetation, into the dense vegetation. And we obviously put down a big barrage of fire to start off with, and then it was just like that, fucking pepper potting in your battle buddies, bullets, pepper potting up to the dense vegetation, crawling past the dudes that we whacked. I don't know if we confirmed I think I put a bullet in. I don't even know, but we kept fighting through that. Hodgie, my 2IC, he, because we were getting very close to this fucking dense vegetation, like a couple of meters. And I remember Hodgie yelling out for me to chuck a grenade, frag, whatever the fuck it is. So I rolled over onto my back and frag. I remember frag, but I remember saying it another fucking 6 times. Like, I don't know how many times I said it. I don't know. I was just trying to. Everything was so loud, and I had to throw this grenade so close that I didn't know the danger. Obviously, I think the danger radius is 6 meters. I think, but it would not have been far off 6 meters. So, anyways, I threw the fucker and it went off. I think MC, he managed to get a grenade off too, and he got it straight into a bloke's lap. So that landed right into his lap, and they found him the next day up on he managed to fucking crawl away on a knoll. That's how shit these grenades are, man. They still managed to leg it.
Mate, they're no good, eh?
Nah. And so a couple got away. I think we found one with a tourniquet. He had self-applied tourniquets on him, and that's another moment where I was like, holy fuck, these dudes they're not oblivious. Like, they're not fucking, they've had some form of training. They've got this.
They're not the farmers that everyone talks them about.
Yeah, they're checking they're scanning their arcs, their spacing's perfect, they're fucking tourniqueting themselves on the fucking move, they're withdrawing and firing. Like, it was confusing. But anyways, oh fuck, I get lost when I talk about this shit, dude. Where are we up to?
Yeah, do you like? I want to ask you about this as well. So, because I had a good friend of mine, I think you commented on the post, and it was talking about the 29th. It was the blonde-haired fellow, Corey Neal, and mate, he had a horrific time in Afghan.
Oh yeah,
he was there the night of the 29th. Had to patch all the boys up after they got shot and killed and stuff like that. And mate, he has this like memory. Really, really bad memory loss of whenever he's trying to recall these incidents overseas, or even like in his normal civilian life now, he'll just have mental blanks. And he was here in Adelaide for the podcast, and we did the podcast for about maybe an hour and 40 minutes. And a bit like yourself, was struggling to bring back information from these times, because there could potentially just be a lot of like PTSD, memory blocking type stuff. Like, so is this like a regular occurrence with you?
Yeah, it's actually funny you say that. I'd love to speak to Neil as well, because I'd love to just have a chat with him, because I've been trying to figure this out, man. Because some of it I have no memory whatsoever. I don't remember that whole contact. I just remember snippets of it. Once it starts slowing down, I start to remember it when we're carrying the dead bodies and all that kind of shit. But fuck, my memory's shot, and my memory's shocking now as well. And I've been trying to figure it out for a while, and yeah. But I just write everything down. It's all good.
Yeah, mate. I'll give you. I'll pass his details on to you after. I'm sure he would take your call. I could let him know as well that you wouldn't give a call. But mate, he's like, honestly, like identical to you with your memory as well. And mate, it has to be either that or you've just been knocked out too many times.
Yeah, well, yeah, I have. Yeah, that could have been a part of it as well.
But but mate, like that is definitely one of the fallouts from PTSD is short-term, long-term memory loss.
Yeah.
And it can be wrought as well throughout the veteran community with guys that have been over in Afghan. I know, look, my memory is pretty fine, but I didn't have the hectic trip of what some of the people that I've sat down on interviews with. So a little bit different sort of situation for me. But yeah, I think it's potentially as well that some memories are blocking some bits of your brain. Now, I'm not a brain specialist at all. I have no idea about this stuff. But just from sitting down and talking to people like yourself, I definitely think there is something there that is potentially blocking memory from, and it's past traumatic events. It has to be. Yeah. And it just doesn't, like, it makes the brain function in a different way where you can't recall memories from certain events, etc.
Yeah, I have asked a few doctors, like, just out of curiosity, because it's actually a problem. Like, even just I'll be driving somewhere, and I've got to follow a GPS, man, because I'll just be fucking, my brain just goes somewhere else, and next thing I know, I'm in autopilot and I've reached that destination, and unless I use the GPS, I'm not going to remember any routes or anything. And my wife has to still tell me to this day. She'll be sitting next to me and we'll be going somewhere that we've been to like 5 times, and I've got to, like, it's embarrassing. Like, it's actually, it takes fucking man points away, dude, when you got to ask your missus for fucking directions all the time.
Yeah, then you just end up lost.
Yeah, and just and my basic memory is just, it's not too bad, but remembering stuff from this trip and doing this podcast and others like it, I really struggle. That's why I told you before I lost my notes that I wrote down, because I didn't want to have the same dramas as I had last time.
That's all right, mate.
Yeah.
And to be honest as well, it just gives everyone a really like good insight into what happens into the mind of veterans when they come back and try to deal with this life. So I'd actually probably rather you not have your notes, because it just brings out this like raw conversation where like and it's happening right now and the audience can see it. It's like, man, like some of these guys that come back, they don't have to have, you know, gunshot wounds or lost legs. Like some of the stuff that's happening with the memories and flashbacks and sleep and that sort of stuff. Like this is some of the stuff that's, you know, like really, really affecting veterans. So, mate, thanks for opening up about that sort of stuff as well. I know it's tough, but...
No, that's what I do this stuff for, because that's no good.
Yeah. Have you ever seek sort of... I know you mentioned before that you've asked a couple of doctors about it, but have you ever seek sort of help over this sort of stuff?
Yeah, I ended up in... I hate talking.
That's all right.
Yeah, I feel like a silly bugger sometimes. When I ended up in rehab a couple years ago. Voluntarily, I put myself there. I just couldn't deal with my anger issues and all that stuff, and it was just affecting my everyday life and just my family life. And just wanted to be better for the kids and all that usual stuff. But so I have, dude. I did 3 weeks in rehab and focused a lot on meditating and yoga. Obviously, I had with depression comes substance abuse.
Take your time, man. Take your time. It's all right.
Put these bad boys. Comes substance abuse, and that fucked me. Like that carried on for fucking years, dude. Like, you know, in the army, you're like, it's encouraged to drink alcohol every day and just kind of be a loose unit. I got pressed to be a loose unit. Like, it was normal for us to go out on the weekends or go out any night, get all punch on the clubs, fucking get arrested by the civilian police, and then the MPs on Townsville, they'll just grab you back and take you back to the battalion, and you're sweet, and you just go out and do it again the next night. And going out, like, fuck, you know how it is. You just get absolutely shit-faced. Well, I don't know if you did yourself. You might have been responsible, but we'd all go out and get absolutely fuck-eyed, end up in blues, scraps, and that was normal. Like, I played in the rugby union team, the battalion side, and you got into punch-ons and you drank lots, you were cool. You were sweet. You're one of the boys, man. And you got to be one of the boys to fucking fit in. I don't care what anyone says. If you're not one of the boys, your life's going to be fucking hard.
Agreed, mate. And like, it's going to sound really, really harsh, but I think it has to be that way as well.
Yeah.
To a certain extent, especially if you're going overseas and, you know, fighting a war. Like, drinking, going out, getting in trouble, it all just forged this like brotherhood that you'd lay down your life for each other overseas.
Yeah.
And as harsh as this, and like there might be a lot of doctors out there or politicians or people that are smarter than I am that have done multiple uni degrees in psychology and psychiatrists and stuff like that, saying that, no, it can't be like that. But there is a part of me that thinks that the military in certain way, especially infantry units, where you're going in and getting in the shit, it has to be like that to a certain extent. You have to be able to bond at that like unbreakable level.
Yeah.
And through that, unfortunately, a lot of young men, they bond through drinking, going out in the piss, getting in trouble, and laughing about it on a Monday morning at parade. Like, and but the back end of that, right, is like when you get out and when you separate from the military, there's then like that drinking doesn't go away.
Nah, that's what I mean by it fucked me up. And when I got back into the civilian world, I was allowed to do drugs. I wasn't getting drug tested, and everyone was doing this shit. So I got out when I was like late 21 or whatever. Straight away after Afghan, I got out, and the boys, my civvy mates, like I moved back to Sydney with all my footy mates, and like we were all just getting amongst it every weekend. We're having a blast, and it was all well and good, and it was all fun and games until I fucking needed to calm down to be able to fucking just live in normal society. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, it does. Because it also brings up like events of myself as well. I'm pretty much a similar sort of demographic to you, right? Like I joined at 18, didn't go gap year, but went DRS, failed selection, went to 3, then went over to Afghan with 3RR. And very, very similar, mate. Like just hit the piss all the time with the boys. Everything was about the boys. And I got out after my Afghan trip as well at the age of like 23 or something like that. And then you come back to Adelaide with this same drinking mentality.
Yeah.
But then you're right. Like drugs started to get involved in as well. And yeah, mate, I went down a spiral for like 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
Just all that sort of stuff. And it wasn't until about maybe 4 years ago that I really started to cut back on it. And yeah, it came through a conversation with my wife. She's like, you need to stop this shit.
Yeah.
You have to stop it. And if it wasn't for that, man, I probably just would still be like in this like death spiral of going down a pub on a Friday afternoon with the boys. Like you have one sip of a beer, it's like, yeah, let's get a bag now.
Yeah.
And mate, it happens to everyone. Like, yeah, and like people can't sit there and tell me that it doesnn't happen because I fucking know how it works with most males, right? Like especially going down the pub and yeah, man, I was I was
for
pretty.
Our missuses, eh?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I sometimes try to picture like where the fuck I would be, and I don't know, probably like being at grave or like being in hospital or something, mate, with fucking like blood poisoning or something like that. So very, very lucky that we have, you know, like that angel on our shoulder to like pull us up and say, hey, this needs to stop.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, my missus is the reason. My missus and kids is the reason why and it's taken me a long time. Even after my first son, I was still drinking a lot. When I say a lot, it was on weekends, not during the week. I was always very fit during the week, but I'd ride myself off fucking every, like, Friday night, Saturday night with the boys or whatever. They'd all come over, would have a barbecue, and Ash and the kids and all that. It was still normal, but it was still like I wasn't doing anything bad or whatever. It is the Aussie thing to do, to have a barbecue and beers and that, but I'll just take it to the extent of drinking. I'll polish off like a bottle of whiskey and fucking 12 beers, and then that's if we weren't like, yeah, just dumb shit like that. And then I guess my missus was just like, enough's enough, switch on or fuck off. She didn't say that. She didn't say switch on or fuck off. She was really, really good. She's given me that many fucking chances to sort my shit out. And yeah, like I said before, I got sick of myself, and I think that's what has to happen before someone can fix themselves. Well, for me anyway, when my kids came, I definitely calmed down a lot, but it still wasn't good enough for what they deserved, because I was fucking wild, dude. I was wild, man. But so I had to snap out of it, and that's when the rehab came into it, because it was just getting too much. And it wasn't even just the drinking and this. It was my anger. My anger was real bad. Like, no domestic violence or any of that shit, but if someone, like, I was looking for an excuse to fucking fight someone on the street. If someone did anything to me in any shape, any way, or spoke to me wrong, I'd want to fight. I don't know. I was just angry, and I was looking for a way to utilize and fucking expose my anger to every dickhead that walked past me. But so yeah, I think if you are struggling with anger, it's not fucking normal. You clicking it isn't fucking normal. You gotta try. I've calmed down a lot since rehab, learning yoga and meditation, how important it is. And the fucking substance abuse is a major factor in making us all feel like shit. But once you cut that away, it's not so fucking bad.
Yeah, mate. I mean, drugs make you feel great on the spot, but shit later.
Yeah.
And it's like that, you know, short dopamine hit that everyone wants these days, and it's the same thing with fucking scrolling on your phone. Like,
oh, dude.
You know, it's almost like we're like directed into this way of like easy dopamine hits.
Yeah.
Then, like, you shouldn't be getting your dopamine from, you know, drugs or your phone or anything like this. Like, you need to be getting it from like healthy relationships, running, going to the gym, eating right. And if you can get all that stuff right, then everything generally falls in place. Like your anger problems will probably fall in place. But there's also like an important point you brought up before as well, is like meditating. Not that I meditate a great deal, but I run a lot, and I see
Same
running
thing.
as meditating.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
People think meditation is sitting there like a dildo with your fucking legs crossed and your fingers up, but it's just taking a minute to self-evaluate and just fucking let the voices chill out for a bit, let all the intruding thoughts chill out. And it does work, focusing on your breathing and everything. That's all it is. It's just being quiet and focusing on your breathing. That's all meditating is, and the rest just follows.
Nah, I completely agree. It's man, I've had, you know, like a lot of military guys on this podcast, and a lot of them have went down that road. Jay Toop was a great one. Mate, he got into that holotropic breath work and did a lot of work around that. Started this like huge healing journey that he's done, which was wild to sit here and listen, especially after the Jay Toop that I knew back at the unit.
Yeah.
You know, like, man, if you fucking like, if you looked at him the wrong way, like, you would get knocked out.
Yeah.
And, but then to hear him, you know, like a decade later and what he's doing now, it's just it's wild how people can have these like revolutionary you know, things happen in their life for them to be completely different human beings from all this like crazy PTSD trauma stuff that we went through to like the now really good member of society that contributes in a positive way. That's a good role model for his dad, that keeps fit, keeps healthy, and brings up little humans in like the right way.
Yeah.
So it's cool to see, because there's like two ways you can go, man. You can go like down the continuous drinking path, or you can start this new journey where like you're becoming a really good like father figure. And I think that's a massive thing for you know, dads especially, like being the person that you want to be for your kids to be like, that's my dad.
Yeah. I think you're very lucky because you've realised all this, because you're about to have a child soon.
Yeah, I am.
Yeah. Wait, that's not a secret or anything? I'm allowed to say that?
Yeah.
Can you just edit that out, bro? Edit that out. We'll start. Yeah. Edit that out, bro. Don't worry. I'm sorry.
No. It's all right, mate. Yeah. People are going to find out eventually. I'm just with me and like kids, I'm very, very like aware, especially that I've got a big platform with thousands of people that, you know, tune in every week.
Yeah.
And, I also want to start speaking up against stuff like child exploitation material. Like there's some crazy stuff going in the courts at the moment in South Australia, where like some of the cases a few times a week are at like 40 to 50% of those cases that are in the courts are child sexual abuse. So I want to start talking up about that, but then that also like can potentially expose my family and my kids to like people that I'm speaking up against. So like I don't mind people on the podcast knowing that like I've got a little, you know, baby on the way, but they'll never be posted on my social media.
Yeah.
Their faces will always be covered, because the protection that I need to ensure. I know people might be like, man, he's taken that to the extreme, but like, yeah, if you know some of the stuff that I know through the people that I've spoken to, like that's the only way that I see fit going forward, is that like I can talk about my kids and having kids along the way, but they'll never be posted on my social media. Their faces will always be hidden or blacked out or anything like that. It's not because I don't love them, it's because I just need to ensure their safety about some of the stuff I speak up against. And if, you know, the podcast is growing quickly as well, man, it's that I think I've got like 14,000 followers, and
oh shit,
you know, at the end of the year that might be at 50 or 60,000, and like who are these people that are following me?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You never know.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very aware about that sort of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, mate.
Yep.
So let's. So that incident that you spoke about, it almost seemed like, man, you guys were just like really lucky to be in that formational line. It almost turned into a bit of an ambush. Really. So, did you want to Now, I know the last sort of thing we got to was throwing a grenade, and you know how the Taliban, how they were like almost like a professional army. They knew how to tourniquet. They weren't just farmers rolling around, right? So you had to drag a few dead bodies and stuff like that back. So let's go back to that, and then let's continue your Afghan tour from there.
So we were doing a vehicle checkpoint a couple of days prior, and a couple of dudes we pulled up, they looked sus as. They had the nice gold watches on. Their hands were all sweet. They didn't have all the, the farmers' hands. They didn't have all the rough hands. Like those guys have the most roughest hands. They don't even have fingerprints anymore. But these guys they were saying they were farmers, but they were dressed up like fucking 50 Cent. And those dudes, I'm pretty sure they were the same guys in this contact. Like one of them, at least. And so anyway, that's irrelevant. I just wanted to give you that quick story. But yeah, so we did the fight through. I remember it being that dense, and we could still hear moaning and groaning and shit coming from fucking the dense vegetation. That we ended up walking through the vegetation like fucking really slow. And I remember everything slowing down, and this is when I got a bit, fuck, this isn't fucking fun at all. This is bad. And my two ICs, because it was fucking dense. Like people think Afghanistan is like desert, but the green zones can be as dense as like the most dense Australian bush. So I've got Hodgie's rifle over my right shoulder, and we're just cruising through, and hear a few gunshots come off from the right or whatever, and that's our boys. Anyways, sorry, we've done the fight through, we've gone through, we've cleared the area. Clearing the area was fucking sketchy as. We've done the reorg. We've dragged the dead back into the centre. And like, he just like looking, well, fuck, that's a dead body. Just like, I just killed that cunt. I guess I'm just kind of tripping out that I've just whacked someone and he's sitting, like just laying there. And anyways, we get told, right, we got to get these bodies. We got to get these two bodies. At this point, there was only two bodies. There was more bodies found the next day because they managed to fucking squirt away and die somewhere else. They still had enough wounds that they passed from their injuries. But anyway, so we had to get these two dead guys back to a main supply route, which was over a kilometre away, through the dense vegetation and through aqueducts and over walls and stuff like that. We had to get them back to the main supply route because we were going to be met by some bushmasters to load the bodies up, take them back to the base so they can be hide enrolled with the fucking all that scanning bullshit, and just so everyone can have a look, I guess, and fucking claim PTSD on their fucking med docs later on. But so yeah, we drag. So me, Nate Dog, Nate, my best man from my wedding. Fucking shout out. He loves hearing his voice. He's the man. He loves hearing his name. Sorry. He was on one end of the stretcher. I was with him out the front, I think. Two boys out the back, and we'd just kind of, you know how it is when you stretcher carry. We chucked the dude on the stretcher, and we started walking. His arms were flopping about, and rigor mortis was starting to set in. The walk went for a while, obviously, and with this walk, you've obviously still got to keep your eye out for bad guys. So we've got security with, like, the other boys are acting as security and helping us out, and we're swapping. We're not getting off the stretcher, but we're swapping arms every now and then. And yeah, rigor mortis is setting in, so we've had to, because our adrenaline's through the roof, and the only thing I guess we know how to do is to laugh about the situation and make fucking fun of it because it's that fucked up. And that's what we did. I remember laughing. I remember rigor mortis setting in, his fucking mouth's opening, and I remember we were saying some weird shit and making jokes about all this stuff that was going on, and it was fucking animalistic, man. And I think about it now, and I think it's absolutely disgusting, but I know why we did it, and it was to fucking laugh it off, because what else are you going to do? What are you fucking going to do? And anyways, his arms were tripping us over, and we were fucking laughing about it. So we had to like snap his arms fucking onto his chest, and then get our toggle rope and fucking rope him down so he couldn't trip us over as we were trying to get through all this shit. And yeah, just carrying him over the walls and everything, and the smell, and he was missing half of his face. We called him Cyclops. You invited me on here, dude. We called him Cyclops. He had half his face missing, but like I remember my camelback, you know, the thing you suck on, the camelback.
Yeah.
I remember it like brushing across his fucking head, like across his missing face, and just thinking, fuck, I'm gonna have to throw that fucking camelback out, because it doesn't matter how much you wash it, man, that's still brushed across his brain. So yeah, we continued carrying him, got him to the main supply route. It was an absolute mission. That was a mission in itself. Got him into the Bushmasters, and then the Bushmasters were the boys were awesome. They brought us fucking resup of food and like goffers and that, and a bit of morale to keep us going, because we still had to go. So we dropped the bodies off into the bushes, and then we kept going to the nearest police checkpoint. Is that me? No. And then, so we went up to the next police checkpoint, and we were, I can only speak for myself. I was exhausted, and I started like throwing up, and fucking my stomach was no good and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it was just exhaustion or whatever, or just seeing all the dead bodies and carrying them for so long and just smelling the fucker for so long, and being the first dead dude I've ever seen in my fucking life. I think it was just tripping me out. Whatever. So I ended up back at the base, and I remember just thinking, like, I just felt heaps different straight away, like among other people that weren't there. And yeah, it was weird. I couldn't eat the first night back. I sleepwalked. This is actually a fucking gnarly story. I was the first day back, because obviously we didn't sleep all that night. We didn't sleep that day, the next day, because we were fucking high on adrenaline and all that kind of shit. So I finally get to sleep that night, and I'm walking around the tent. There's 10 other beds in the tent. The tent's probably 4 times the size of this room that I'm in now. And I'm walking around, and I'm in my fucking sleep. I'm still searching for those Taliban that are laying doggo in the dense vegetation.
Wow.
And I've got up to the corner of the room, and I fucking sorry, bro, fucking hopeless. And I just hear this. I come to, because I'm about to fucking. I found this cunt, about to whack him. And I come to my section commander, MC. He's just gently. He's just like gently asking me to put the weapon down. Sorry, dude. Fuck.
You're right, man. You're right.
Nothing happened, but I just feel guilty. But yeah, so MC approached me. He was, put the weapon down, buddy. Put the weapon down. You're asleep. You're asleep. Don't fucking pull the trigger. Because I flipped the safety off.
It's all right, man. Take your time.
And Paddy, like, he's one of my best mates, said, yeah, so I had to come to his head, flip the safety off, and to instant, and fuck knows what would happen next. But MC came over, slowly put your weapon down, like, calm down, buddy, you're just asleep, all that kind of shit. And I came to and realised what I was doing. Oh, fuck me. Realised what I was doing, and fuck, it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever done. But the boys were sweet. We kept that in the house. That never left the tent ever. The boys took MC just took the magazine out of my weapon and cleared it, and I just, for a couple of weeks, I just had to sleep with my magazine under my pillow instead of loaded into my weapon until I came good again. But yeah, that's the kind of boys they were. Like, I almost just killed Paddy, and no, they were all sweet. They kept it under wraps because I would have. Fucking hell, emotional. You got me all fucked. They would have sent me back home. They would have sent me back to Australia. They would have, obviously.
Yeah.
But no, got to live another day in Afghan and stayed with the boys, bro. And yeah, we got to kick on.
Also shows, like, again, where your head is at after like such a significant event, right? It's because you would have been what, like 19 or 20?
20. Had my 21st birthday there. Yeah.
Yeah. So like going through that at that age, like the male brain doesn't develop till it's 25.
Yeah.
Fully develop, right? So like you've just went through this crazy stuff of having to take someone's life. And then, like, you're trying to process that and then also trying to sleep. And, like, the brain's in this, like, developing mode. And, again, right, this is probably where it comes back to your, like, memory stuff as well. Whereas, like, as your brain is developing into, like, a full adult, you're having all these, trauma events happen to you and all this stuff. And, yeah, it's just, like, another real in-depth look that you can, you know, that people can receive, you know, from hearing your story, which is like incredible that you're sharing it as well, man. I know this shit's tough, right? Like,
no, fuck it. Got nothing to lose. I don't really care what anyone thinks these days. I've got my family and that's it.
Have you told that story before?
Nah, fuck no. No way.
No. So you haven't told it on anyone else's podcast?
Nah.
Wow. Do you mind if I put that in a short and share it?
No, I don't mind. So I guess after that, I don't know when Maddie died, man. I can't remember. And I should fucking know. I don't remember if it was before or after that. I'm pretty sure it was after it. But that was a massive thing for us all because he was such a good friend, Maddie Lambert.
He was a sniper, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a sniper, man. But he was just he was just one of those blokes that everyone knew. Like, he's just a cool dude. He was with me on Swift Eagle when I first got to battalion, and he just showed me respect and was nice to me and everything like that. And for a senior digger to show so much respect to a gap year lid, it was pretty cool. But yeah, that's just the kind of dude he was. But yeah, when we lost him, sounds fucked up, but rumor was, because you hear shit, I don't know how, but you start hearing rumors. Even in Afghanistan, you hear fucking rumors going around like, Maddie Lambert died, but it was an engineer, Maddie Lambert, or something like that. And I remember thinking like, oh fuck, it sounds horrible, but I remember thinking, oh, at least it's not fucking Maddie. Like, and it sounds fucked. It's brutal. And so the rumor got around that it was a different Maddie Lambert, and then we go to the mess or whatever, if that's what you want to fucking call it. A couple tables outside a mud hut, and the platoon commander like didn't even say his name or anything, or got his name wrong or some shit. And it was our Maddie, and it just fucking threw us all. And then after that, it was I don't know. I definitely had a different perception after that. I was fucking, let's go, cunt. These cunts want to have a crack. Let's fucking go. And that's what I felt anyway. It was fucked.
Did he step on an IED?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. I wasn't there, obviously. I wasn't there. He stepped on an IED, and I don't really want to talk too much about it, just because he's still got a lot of loved ones out there. I don't want to describe it all, but it was fucking brutal. That's all. No good.
Yeah. Did you feel like after that, especially like, because he sounded like a pretty senior, well-respected guy, did you feel like if the Taliban can set that up and then take one of our best soldiers, then like what can happen to 20-year-old me?
Oh, I knew. I knew it was luck. Like I knew it didn't matter how good you were. It was just luck. Like the best. He was one of the best soldiers, and I can say he was one of the best soldiers in the battalion easily. Like, it's not even a question. And he got fucking capped. So, like, anyone could fucking die. And heaps of the other sniper boys, they had some fucking close calls too. I think a couple of boys got hit in the fucking the chest plate, the back plate, the fucking helmet, and they there was heaps of crazy. One dude went through a cornfield and still had fishing line and a fucking grenade attached to his ankle when he like it didn't go off, the pin was still in, all that kind of crazy shit. Like, there was fucking so many close calls. My mate Paddy, in that first contact, he was fucking he was underneath a tree or kneeling on the tree, using it as firing platform. And the next day, there was when we went back to see all the rounds and all that and all the damage and everything, there was a fucking bullet hole where the cunt's head was. Like, he would have only just moved prior to that. Just heaps of crazy shit, heaps of luck. It's all just luck, and doesn't matter who the fuck you believe in, which god you believe in. It's just, if you're in the wrong place at the wrong time, you're just fucking unlucky.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Yeah, mate, definitely. I've had a few boys on my podcast talk about the 29th of August with that green on blue.
Yeah.
And they were saying as well, like, the luck for it to only, and now this sounds terrible, the luck for it to only hit 3 guys out of the 15 or 20 that were there. Like, old mate actually went down and asked for a PKM, like a machine gun, and his fellow Afghan soldiers wouldn't give it to him. So all he had was an AK, and he just emptied the clip on the boys. But imagine how bad it would have been if he got the 200 round fucking machine gun up there.
Fuck.
Like, all of them would have been wiped out.
I thought it was. That's what I heard. I thought it was a machine gun, but it was just an AK. It was only an AK-47, and it still managed to do that much damage. That's fucked.
Yeah. But imagine if he got the machine gun. And that's that luck that you're talking about, right? Like,
and the boys capped him pretty quick, eh? The boys capped him pretty
Nah, he got away, jumped into the green belt.
Fuck. See, I think that was on my trip, so we didn't really have social media. Like, we weren't talking to each other and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that was on my trip.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had some green on blues as well.
Yeah. Did you can you talk me through them at all? The ones that happened on your trip?
Fuck, I didn't. I don't like talking about them because I don't know too much about them. It was all just hearsay from other soldiers and that. We had, just before we got there in the FOB next to us, we lost, the boys lost a cook. And from what I heard, he was fucking, all the poor bastard was doing, he was pissing in the way of fucking, I don't know, where do Muslims pray towards? Mecca or something? Or whatever. He was pissing on something and he got laced up from behind from an Afghan soldier, just like in the base. He was a cook. Like, he wasn't meant to fucking get killed like that.
I do remember that.
Yeah. And that was before I went there. And there was a green on blue while I was there. But I don't even want to fucking speak on it because I don't know much about it at all.
Yeah, that's cool. You were talking about before as well how after you lost the one of your mates, you all went back to that main base and you had a few beers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Did you want to talk me through that?
Yeah, that was pretty rough. So the CSM let a couple of his mates go back to Tarankot to, I guess, just send him off and send him back to Australia and all that kind of stuff. So me and my Seco MC and a couple other boys from the company, we went back to TK, did the ceremony, and the SF boys brought us all a bunch of piss, and we just got absolutely shit-faced, played his favourite songs all night, it wasn't if we weren't just sitting around fucking crying and carrying on, we were like celebrating his life and really just like we put it on for him. I'll tell you that much. We tried to give it a good go. We had the fucking bagpipes out and everything like that. But yeah, he got a pretty good sending off. It was pretty sick actually. But yeah, as sick as it can be. Fuck, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Fuck. What else? Sorry, what was the question again?
No, that's all right. No, I just wanted to know, like, you know, how you sort of felt in that space and what happened, and you sort of just explained it there, mate. Anyway, that you came back and had some beers for him, and the SF boys gave you some of that. So.
Yeah, there's actually a really, really good photo in a photo. One of the army photographers took, and it's of, I think I'm in the photo too, walking down the ramp after we've said goodbye to his casket in the back of the Hercules. And you can just see on the boys' faces how much of an awesome bloke he was. Like, you can just tell just from seeing that photo. But yeah, it was rough, dude. But the snipers put on a really good farewell for him as well. And it was. I'm glad I got to attend it because a lot of people didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember on our trip when with that green on blue. We didn't get to attend it. We had to go out and set up a cordon to try and get this guy that shot the 3 boys that night.
Yeah.
And I remember there was guys in our platoon that were like best mates with some of the guys that died.
Yeah.
And they couldn't attend the ramp ceremony.
Yeah, that's same as us. Some sections were out and some sections were already on patrol doing other shit. It's pretty brutal.
Mate, it's the hardest part of war. It's such a brutal truth of war. Like, and I've spoken about this like a lot. Like, nothing stops because someone dies.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Everything just keeps going, and you know, sometimes, in fact, it moves a lot faster after these events.
Yeah.
You know, people start getting manoeuvred into places for retaliation stuff, or you know, we try to take the initiative back and push forward. So sometimes you're actually working harder and faster after some of these events. And there's you know, I bring this up a lot in my podcast as well. There's a few interesting articles out there about getting soldiers back into the fight after an incident like that, so they can't let soldiers dwell, because if they let soldiers stop and dwell on it for a few days and don't get them back out outside the wire, there's a part of them that might not want to go out again. And if one person starts thinking like that, they can all start thinking like that, and it creeps around like a cancer. So to get soldiers moving almost straight away after the death of a soldier is very, very important to like their mindset right there and then. But there's obviously a fallout from that, right? Because you don't have the time to process it there and then you have to process it years later because you can't process it at that time. So, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, sometimes a decade later, you start to process that through like PTSD events and stuff like that. So there's a big outswing to that. But I do think it needs to be like that to survive overseas, so you don't get more casualties, right?
Yeah. We were fucking keen as to get back out there. But yeah, I can see what you're saying for sure. Yeah.
So let's sort of wrap up that Afghan side of things now, and then you know, coming home, mate. At the age of 21, you would have came home, just been through these events. Like, talk me through your process of, you know, like getting ready to come home from Afghan and then sort of arriving back in Australia. Anything that, you know, was there? Like, you obviously came back a completely different person, right? Yeah.
Well, like, we got into a pretty massive tick before we went on Rockall. And that was probably that wasn't the biggest one, but it was fucking the closest one for me to getting done in, me and Nate. So that attack played a big part in the way my fucking brain worked after that. I remember in Rockall, me and Nate spent like $10,000 just getting fucked up because we were like, what happens if we don't come back, kind of thing, because we came that close. So we'll just fucking spend all this money in that. And then when we got back to Australia, we got off the plane, dude, and there was heaps of media. Heaps of like right in our face at the airport. There was shitloads of media. It was a big celebration. It was massive, and we weren't ready for it. Well, I wasn't ready for it. I didn't expect it, and yeah, it was just really in your face and everything. And then you obviously got those, what do you call it, when you come in for the next couple of days and you get all those shitty briefings that no one gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did all those, but we did them all blind, fucking rotten drunk. Like, we drank fucking for the next, I don't know, I'm pretty sure we drunk for the next month at least. And it was messy drunk too, like it was fucked. And I started to see how messy and different people were. Like, people would get a lot more drunker than they used to, and a lot more aggressive than they were getting, and I was getting a lot more I was turning into a fuckwit. And you were just starting to see people change, which I didn't really know. I didn't notice it at the fucking time, but as you get older and you start thinking back to things and what people did and how people acted before and after, you realise, fuck, I didn't even know it affected me until a couple of years ago. I thought the way I was just a high-strung cunt. I thought it was just normal. I thought that's just how I was now. But, yeah, it was, I didn't like coming back. Coming back was when it all started getting hard. The trip itself was fucking sick. It was awesome. The trip itself was like, yeah, the fucking officers that we had to deal with, some of them were absolute flops, but some of them were awesome. We had to do some really dumb shit, but we also got to do some really cool shit, and it was really good to be able to put our skill set into play and just have each other's backs and fucking just experience what a real fight feels like, and the experience what near death experiences and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's shit that a lot of people don't get to experience, and I think it's fucking vital for, like, we're humans, man. We're not meant to be fucking sitting behind a computer worrying about bills and shit. We're meant to be out hunting and fucking pillaging and fighting other tribes and shit. And it's really hard to be an ex-soldier in such a fucking weird society with all this. It's just very fucking. I don't like the way society is, especially for veterans trying to fucking fit in. It's total opposite, and it is hard. And that's what I've been trying to put in all this effort into, is just becoming like a fucking a person that can actually fit into society without being judged as a bit of a nutter or fucking yeah, just trying to fit in, dude. You know, it's hard.
Yeah, no, I hear you. And like, you're struggling as well, right? Because you went through it at such a young age, so you're still forming like an identity.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm 35 now, and I feel like it's only been the past 3 years where I've started to realise, started to learn more about myself and actually self-reflecting, whereas I don't think I ever did that, ever, in my 20s.
It's wild, isn't it? For like how many years almost after Afghan you would have just sleepwalked through life?
I did, and there's so much wasted years just from drinking pointlessly with mates in a backyard, fucking just all kinds of, and the amount of fuck ups I made drinking, Jesus Christ, fuck, heaps, and it became part of my identity as well. And for me to get rid of that identity as the dude that used to fuck up on the piss has taken fucking years, man. And it's still there in me. It can fucking come back at any time if it chooses to. But I've got to keep it under wraps.
Yeah. Yeah, nah, and again, like, that's probably a fallout of like what you were taught in the military.
Yeah.
Right, to like get on the piss and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then it just flows on effect, and then all of a sudden, like, your identity is being known that you're a big drinker.
Yeah.
And then, like, you pick that up and you run with that for like 5 to 8 years,
and
cool all of a sudden you're like, fuck, I'm not right.
Yeah. Well, I got back from military prison and I was fucking pretty much, the boys thought I was the coolest thing since fucking Lego.
Yeah.
But you're also 18 years old, 19 years old, and you don't have kids. You start carrying on like a fuckwit like that when you're a bit older, in your 30s or your late 20s, and you got children, or you got children coming, and you're still being a loose unit like you used to be back in the day. It doesn't fucking work. It doesn't work.
Nah, mate. Yeah, life changes, and you just got to adapt and then roll the punches. But yeah, one of the biggest things that I've found is the less I drink, the more healthy I become.
Yeah.
And look, like, it's not going to say that I won't get written off Anzac Day, because that'll happen. But, you know, it's not like maybe it's twice a year now on a golfing trip and Anzac Day, or you know, a random Friday night I have some beers with some mates. So I might be 3 or 4 times a year rather than every weekend.
Yeah, I know. That's kind of what boat I'm in now. Like last year I did 7 months sober, and fuck, it kind of changed my whole perspective on alcohol. Like I don't get home on a Friday and I'm like, fuck, I want to smash 1,000 beers and drink a bottle of whiskey and just fucking run amok. Like it kind of kills that. It gets easier, and now I can do what you're doing and just go and drink on fucking what do you call it, like key moments, like celebrations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And not have to just ride myself off every weekend. So yeah, you're right.
Yeah, man. Because I reckon I've got a really addictive personality, and I can get addicted to stuff really, really easily. So so for example, drinking. If I start drinking, it's like I'm all in or all out. So
I think that's a lot of our problems, eh?
Yeah, and the military were big on it, right? They always used to say to us, like, live for your weekends.
Yeah.
Like, work hard from Monday to Friday. When you've got Friday to Sunday off, like, go nuts, do what you want. But live for that weekend. And I always sort of took that and ran with it. But it wasn't until the past few years, and I actually had to go to, because I'm a massive wine drinker, I had to go to non-alcoholic wine.
Yeah.
Just on a Friday and Saturday night to have that action of me having a sip. And I had to do that for about a month. And then from there, I can like, okay, now I don't need to have a drink there.
I did the exact same thing with beers, the 0% beers. Like I was going out with I was working with the boys, maybe working rural area somewhere. And, I'd be Dezo and I'd just be drinking 0% beers. They would all be getting blind. So I was still able to hang around with people getting pissed. But come 10 o'clock, I'm like, nah, fuck, let's go. I'm out. I can only be sober around dickheads for so long.
Yeah, that's right.
But I did exactly the same thing. A month on the 0%ers, and then it got a lot easier.
Yeah, and once you break that habit, like I went from like having to have a drink on Thursday night through to Sunday night to like, I haven't drank in like 6 months now, just because I'm really into this prep of running. But yeah, mate, I don't like, now that someone has a drink around me or something like that, like I don't feel the need now to have a drink as well.
Yeah.
And I had to break that habit, and it was just lucky that I discovered going to non-alcoholic wine for a month. Yeah. And once I did that, now I can like, it doesn't matter. I don't know, drinking doesn't faze me anymore. So
it's good. Same.
It is. Look, mate, let's start to sort of wrap this thing up.
Yep.
You spoke a bit about your like family sort of life now, and we've spoken about your importance of having to stay mentally fit and stuff like that. But like, how important is it for you to stay on top of some of these like PTSD things that creep into your life?
Yeah, so I still struggle a fair bit. I hate saying the word, and I always have hated saying the word, but I think I struggle a lot from like anxiety, like the physical like reactions I get from anxiety. Like I get a tight jaw, my sweaty palms all the time, and I just feel like shit all the time if I don't train. But if I stay on top of the fitness, I think that's the only thing that can kind of help me, and I have dropped off a fair bit. I'm trying to get back into it now with the help of these boys. But I think fitness is the fucking key, man. Has to be the key. And fucking staying away from the substance abuse. Yeah.
If you can keep up, mate, just like, again, with me, with my personal stuff, I was a bit of a rat bag like you, mate. Like, used to fucking drink, get get into trouble a lot. I ran a 100K race, and I gave myself, like, this would have been 3 years ago, I gave myself took me 14 hours. I gave myself this 14-hour therapy session.
Quick, eh? 14 hours?
I finished, it was my first ever 100K race. I practically rolled off the fucking couch and did it.
So that's what I'm probably going to do. Fuck.
Yeah, and I finished 19th out of over 100.
Oh, that's really good. That's awesome.
Yeah. So I ran pretty well in it. I was coming 5th up until like the 75k mark, and then
I'm hoping just to finish it, dude. To be honest,
Matt, my last 115k race, I strained a calf at the first 10k, and then hobbled the next 100k in, and it took me like 5 hours longer than I wanted to, and it took me 17 hours and 59 minutes.
Fuck, calf muscles are the worst, man. There's nothing.
It fucking hurt, man.
I've just had mine. I've been getting mine worked on for the past 3 months from my physio, and I'm starting to come good now. But I had exactly the same problem. But within a couple hundred meters, it would pop, and I'd be fucked.
Then you just limp the rest of the way. Yeah. But mate, I did one of those races, and it just gave me this crazy different outlook on life. And ever since then, I've really just locked into, like you've done, really lock into your training. And once you can get like a training platform and base and stay fit, like a lot of military guys, once they stay in that zone of like wanting to train, stay fit, then what follows that is good eating. Then what follows that is a really clear mind, clear relationships. Your anger stays down. You can talk to your wife on a better wavelength. You're better with your kids, and like all this stuff starts from fitness and staying fit. And I think that's the number one thing, especially. And this might not work for everyone else, but I think for military guys, especially like infantry SF dudes, if they can just maintain fitness and stay to a training schedule, everything else just flows in place for them, man, and everything just seems to work after that.
I have to agree, man, for sure. That's awesome. Yeah.
And, look, I asked this question to all my podcast guests, so you're no different. If you could go back to your 18-year-old self and give yourself one bit of advice about life, what would it be?
Just calm down and train harder, mate. Calm down. Just calm down, chill out, and hit that gym. It's free. Hit that fucking gym that's free, sitting right there that I never fucking used unless it was for PT.
Yeah. Did you, what do you think your 18-year-old self would have said to you?
Fucking pussy, don't worry about it. Come out for a bit. Don't be a bitch. We'll go to Bullies or go to Mad Cow.
Yeah.
Nah, there's not much you could tell a fucking 18-year-old anyway. But if I could, man, it would just be to just calm down on the piss and take my job more serious, be a better professional, and strive to actually fucking be better, because I wasn't. I was just cruising, drinking, having fun, doing my job, but not to the best of my ability, that's for sure. Until pre-Afghan, I started to switch on. But for the first couple of years, I was, calm down, switch on, and just focus. You can have fun later on. Just fucking get the hard work done now so you can chill out later.
Mate, that was a fantastic episode. Again, mate, like I said to most of my military mates, but in particular yourself, to go back and relive some of these events, it's definitely not easy, and it does take a lot of guts and determination, and then also resilience as well, mate. So I really, really thank you for that. And Kyle Wilson, you've been a fantastic guest, and thanks for coming on Two Worlds Collide podcast.
No, cheers, Sam. Can I? Oh, is this still recording?
We are, mate.
Oh, yep. Sweet. Can I give my business a quick shout out, dude?
Go for it.
So, I've just started my own business a year and a half ago. It's called Precision Pipe Repair. So we specialise in trenchless pipe repair technology, like re-sleeving the inside of pipes that are cracked and broken, sending our CCTV robotics up to see if there's any defects throughout the pipe, and trying to fix the pipe internally without having to dig. So if I work all throughout New South Wales. If you're in New South Wales and you're on a civil site and you need your pipes inspected, you need your defects relined, manholes rehabbed, whatever, give us a buzz. Precision Pipe Repair. Please and thank you.
Where can people find you?
www.precisionpiperepair.com.au, or my number is 04212 16417.
Nice.
Fucking hell. Sorry, mate. I'm shocking at this. I'm just trying to get the word out to the boys, but yeah, I'm all over the shop.
Definitely, mate. Definitely. And
thanks for having me, Sam.
Nah, you're welcome, mate, and you've been a fantastic guest. And yeah, if I'm over in Sydney, I'll give you a buzz and we'll catch up for a run.
Bro, please. Sounds good.
Good on you.
Cheers, brother.
That wraps up this episode. If you enjoyed it, please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and follow. It really helps out our channel. If you're listening on a podcast platform, a quick review goes a long way. And don't forget to share the episode, tag your friends, and drop a comment. I always appreciate your feedback and love hearing your thoughts. Until every voice is heard.